certain state. It's just all of the jurisdictions in general.
You said it's a survey class?
Survey, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So, yeah.
So this is like overall United States? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yep.
Mm-hmm.
All of the states. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go.
So how many people are in this class?
There's like 70.
Oh, 70?
Yes, 70. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Is this like an average size class?
Yeah, I would say so. You get put into sections, and in each section you have about 70 people.
In your second year, is your classes as large too?
No, they're actually a lot smaller.
Really?
Yes.
More
Yeah.
personal?
Yes. Okay, here we're at the chair.
Okay, this is where I'm gonna sit.
Yes.
Eat something good for you. Here's what I really think you should do that'll be most productive, is to write down a list of all the things that are stressing you out. Contract, stressing me out. Torts, stressing, what grade I'm gonna earn. I have to keep my scholarship. A minute and a half to do it. Go on and do it. Close your eyes. Think of the answer you have. Close your eyes. Raise your hand if your answer is A. Raise your hand if your answer is B. Raise your hand if your answer is C. Nobody picks A. Do this or do that, right? And then a multiple choice question we throw at you, and that's how you're tested on the bar. So I think it's important to develop the skill. But a multiple choice question, we're asking you to pick the right answer. Okay, well, to pick the right answer, it requires you to use your judgment and not think that none of the above apply, which is what you're inclined to do now that we have trained you to say depends to every answer. Does that make any sense? All right. Very good. Some of the questions that I've been giving you as multiple choice questions, I'll just let you know they're like former bar questions. Some of them are. I modify them though, because I don't even like their bar questions. So but more or less, bar questions I can answer. We've been talking about joint tortfeasors. That's where we left off. Woo, we're on number 10. Actually moving to number 11 out of 13 topics for the semester. So you know we are approaching the end of the semester. What did we learn about joint tortfeasors the last time we met? Well, a couple of concepts, and then we did move on to immunities towards the end of class on Monday. But a couple of high points that I mentioned to you on Monday. The distinction between a release and a covenant not to sue. One of the high points towards the end of class. And you know it has nothing to do with the name of the document at the top of the page. It has everything to do with what the language of the document provides and what the parties that are parties to the contract, what they're agreeing to. And why do we care whether something is a release versus being a covenant not to sue? Because a release is an affirmative defense for all joint tortfeasors, even if they weren't party to the release. It releases all joint tortfeasors. It absolves all joint tortfeasors from liability. As contrasted with the covenant not to sue, which is an agreement.
No, we do not offer CAS waivers, so you'll still have to pay for the CAS report. We do offer an application fee waiver though. So there's no $70 fee to apply. So you're free to apply, which is great.
And so the early
Decision?
was due November 15th. The early one.
I have a question on the early decision. So it says that your application is due the 15th, but you have until the 15th of December to complete the test.
Right, so we sort of offer a 30-day grace period. So the application, or the deadline is November 15th for the factors you can control.
So your person's taken.
Yes.
Matt is coming. He's answering a few.
Oh, okay. Like, when you say people.
I'll send y'all in a couple of elevators and we'll head up and work our way down. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. All right. So, yes. We can go to the elevators this way.
I'm the assistant director for admissions. Super good to meet you. This is Rochelle. I would love it if you could kind of steer her a bit, if that's all right.
Want to stay, anyone?
I'm Louisiana, but I go to A&M.
Okay. You go to A&M. What part of Louisiana are you from?
Oh, excuse me.
So, kind of, I was telling everyone in the elevator that the reason I chose to come to University of Houston was because I have a good support system here, and my family lives here, which is a huge factor. But I think that wherever you go, it's important to make that support system, either through your friends, or if there's community organizations like outside of law school to help you do that. That's a great way to find a support system. So we are on the 5th floor. As we're walking into the library, it's a little bit of a silent floor, so we could be mindful to those studying. We're gonna walk to the back, and I can show you some of the cool features we have in terms of like the scanners. I think that we also have like our offices for our student organizations and journals. If you have any questions about journals, Matt is on Law Review, and I'm on the Houston International Journal. Just whenever there's hours, you have to use your UH food card to be able to get in. The reading room is currently not open. There's a reading room to our left, and that will be kind of like where it is absolutely silent, and you can go there. But right now, I think they're still looking at some kids who just opened up this building this fall, and how they're very excited to use that when it opens up to serve their funds. We also have like some scanners over here that you can scan textbooks. We have big ones. So down the hallway to my right, we have where our student organizations are, and then we also have some of the journals. Like I said, behind y'all is a water fountain, and also you can scan your textbooks. So for me, I don't like carrying my textbooks. I think they're really heavy and they're back of my back. So I like to scan the pages in my textbooks and be able to like read them on my laptop. UVH has offered free printing, so you'll upload to the print cloud and just swipe your Cougar card, and it tells you what document to upload, and you can print for free as much as you want to.
It's pretty nice. Remember undergrad it was like 5 cents a page. It's like I've printed like 400 pages of just like random PowerPoints and stuff, and just like put it all over a table and like try and put stuff together. So
Yeah.
and they don't like nobody's ever like gives you any grief like, oh, you're printing too much. Like they keep it stocked. You expect to print as much as you want. So
Yeah, so it's a really good thing. Yeah, especially when it comes finals time and you're like trying to.
yeah, man.
We can head back down that way, and then we'll go to the second floor of our library, which is a little bit louder. We can talk a little bit more freely. I guess if you're rising up, it's the first floor of our library, but so our library covers 2 floors. The library assistants are really helpful if you ever have issues with researching something. So right now I have to work on doing some citation checks and checking out different books and other stuff from like different libraries. So sometimes they'll help you show you like, how do I use the interlibrary loan? So you'll just ask them and they can point you in the right direction. You can get a library book or article from a bunch of different libraries that UH has partnered with our study rooms. So in the library we have study rooms and you can reserve them for about a 2-hour period of time. I'm planning, I don't know, Matt, we're both mentors as well for 1Ls. I'm planning for my mentor group to have like a little study hall session where we get together and everyone is assigned as a 1L a mentor group. So we're gonna get together, have some snacks and just like study. They can study independently or study together, just to provide kind of some of that support that we need in law school because we're going through a tough time. Do y'all have any questions about our library? Yeah, do y'all want to go check out, oh, did you have a question? Sorry. We do have something kind of fun if you're, needing to stand up or bike. We can go to look at our exercise study room if y'all want to. Yeah, so it's up this way. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Here through the door right here. There you go.
Okay. Either way it goes. Okay. Your exercise study room.
Yeah, so it's like a study room that's got like
And there are printers
bikes
and scanners,
and-
scanners on the library
Oh, that's
floors and
wonderful.
printers on each.
and treadmills.
So y'all will not be allowed to use the exercise equipment. You have to sign a waiver and your law statement. But if you want to take a peek in, right there we have some exercise bikes. We also have some walking desks as well. Yeah, you can take pictures if you want to. Yeah, go ahead if you would like.
Did you actually sign a waiver?
I haven't signed a waiver yet.
I've used it.
to
You
do
definitely did not sign a waiver.
But yeah, if y'all want to take a look.
So you
I
can like,
actually
sit on the
don't know
bike and do the
different
bike and
fees,
have
but,
a book to read.
I think
Really?
it's.
You have to
Matt,
have the company
you ever
on
used
it.
it, you
Yeah. Would you
Is
say?
it pretty cool in there?
It's no, it's pretty much the same.
So you can go there. There's also showers there. We have changing rooms at the law centers.
There's showers at the law center.
Oh, there's showers
There's showers
too.
here. I'll go out and I'll work out there and then like shower before class. And it's, yeah, that gym is really, really nice. It's like
And
4
that's
stories.
about 10
and-
minutes from here.
It's about a
Is
10-minute
it indoor
walk.
track?
Yeah, it does.
And so clearly I'm not utilizing the resources as well as I should be, but Matt has been utilizing them.
Not recently, but yeah. I have.
But yeah, so we can head on out this way.
We'll go.
Okay.
If there's any
Right still?
questions, like-
Okay, that's cool. Let me see.
Right shoulder still, you want?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, like, we have, can't
U
remember.
of H kind of equivalent, you're gonna have to be competing with Harvard or UCLA or U Chicago, and that doesn't really exist here. So our graduates place like really, really
Here
well.
because they're interested in finding people who they think are quality. And so, like, not to knock any of those other schools, because you're all coming out with a JD, and they're going to be people that you're going to be across the table with or argue against. But, like, that is something that is true for U of H, is that legal, like, employers do come here to look for our students. So we're going to head down to the 3rd floor, and then, yeah, it's a little cold outside, but if you want to go out there, we can. We can see cool, we can come back in here.
What
now
is
and
it?
say hi.
It's a
Talk a little bit.
patio.
What, do you guys study out here or something?
Sometimes, yeah. It's
Yeah,
usually
I'm
pretty
gonna-
busy, but I guess come back a little bit.
Okay.
On my doors, so go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be back in. So it's a large open area.
Yeah, it's a big patio of tables.
Okay, everybody comes out here when it's nice weather.
The what?
Is that what that says? Cross? Or
Oh, Crost Hall? Yeah. So that's a big auditorium where they would have like big classes and stuff. Yeah.
okay.
Wow, it's the old law school. Okay.
That would be our
Yeah, that's what they say. Whenever Mike, whenever
So I have a question about professors. So it's asking like whether or not we have the same exact professors every single day. So you do have like you'll take a writing class, you'll take torts, you'll take contracts, and you'll take civil procedure. And those are the 4 classes that you're going to have your first semester. Those professors you will see 2 or 3 times a week. To kind of speak on that, you do have teaching assistants for every single 1L class. That is guaranteed at UH. You can talk to them. They have lots of office hours. I think torts sometimes, depending on the professor, may have more than 1 TA. And really talking to your TA is a great way to also understand like how that professor thinks, what they're looking for, and just go to with questions if you know like the professor may seem intimidating. I will say though, our professors are very willing to talk to students. I've never had a professor like tell me like, oh, like I don't have time to talk to you. Like they are more than happy to stay a little bit after class or go to their office hours. But a lot of it is the initiative is on the student. They want you to do well. They want you to succeed, but you know you have to do your part too. Matt, do you have anything to add to
Yeah,
that?
I think I'll say I went to a really big school for undergrad, and I had a lot of professors that were like famous and well accomplished. But you try to go like talk to them, and they're like, no, like I just want to write, or I'm just doing this research right now. And I think that something that's different here, and maybe it's just a product of law school, not the school, but is that like these professors, although they are accomplished and they've written a lot in their fields, I feel like are more concerned about like teaching and developing young lawyers than they are being like renowned scholars in whatever area of the law that they teach. So
Yeah, I think we do have some like pretty cool professors like our statutory when they want you to write an essay exam, and I think that comes with practicing it. So you'll find that with the LSAT, with some of those logic games, like it comes with practicing it. And so that was something for me that was a big learning curve. They say that if they want you to be precise in your language too. So if you come from maybe a background of writing that is not as precise, then you'll have to learn to kind of cut your writing to be more precise and more concise. So it's just, there are little things here and there. Like, I will tell you like that wherever you go, like know that I think the biggest thing for me was knowing that I belonged in a law school environment. So like wherever you go, like know that you belong and remind yourself of that, because the environment can feel difficult and it can make you feel like you don't belong when you do. Like you're in law school for a reason. We hope that it's UH, but if it's not, we get it. But you know, you do belong in law school, and everyone has the ability, once they understand how to think like an attorney, because that's what law school is to be a great attorney and be a great lawyer. Not everyone has to be going to work at a big law firm. So the speakers that came and represented Fred Korematsu, they told us that they never thought that they would be making these, like, doing impact litigation, changing history. And so that's something that's kind of cool. You never know where your career can go. But you do have the opportunity by learning the system to be able to advocate for someone, whether it's in litigation, transactional, whatever practice area you're doing, like as an attorney, you get to do that. Yeah.
something to build off what Julia said about like the learning curve. A lot of times I hear that phrase like learning curve and I think like, oh, okay, like it's really difficult material. And like, I don't think that's how I would describe law school. Like, I don't think anything that we've learned is like, oh wow, you have to be like a rocket scientist to understand this. Like maybe more accurately like the workload curve where it's like
market, so in case you like need a snack or you forget your meal, like it's touchless, which is kind of cool. You just download an app, you check in at the check-in station, and you can kind of grab and go like one of those like Amazon stores. Yeah, it's pretty neat and it's like convenient. I'm not gonna lie, as a student, I pack my lunch every day, but at the same time, if you forget your lunch that one day, we have the market, and then we also have behind the law center, we have a couple of restaurants as well. So we can come this way.
where did you say you were? Employed? Yeah. When were you in Miami? I don't maybe was there yet. So there's no one I knew.
Yeah,
Was
so
there.
you
I
can-
had some buddies, but then nobody.
I know there was a DB there that went to Miami.
Yeah, that's what. Vernon Jones. Yeah.
That was
So you're up in the morning? then I can talk about the lockers too that you haven't asked
Yeah, I don't
about.
know who's. Yeah, he was a senior. I was a freshman. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know automatically, but you can register for it. So if you have books, you're able to kind of, register for one, place them there. Your lunch, you're gonna put your lunch in there. Sorry to disturb you guys. I know y'all are probably busy, but are there any questions that you guys have about the law school in general, or?
It's more study spaces.
Oh, okay.
I do not. I think
And what floor is this? The second floor?
around the 30 or 40% of applicants. Oh, yes, so our classes are around 300, a little less than 300. But a lot of percentage accepted, I think it's around 30-40%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I treat it like it's football. Like I show up, I like pretend in my head that we're gonna do the coaches, and like I need to like be the best. I want to be the best, and like I've done really well. And it's worth it. If you're like on the fence about law school, I would say like there's no better
The
environment.
competition is in the fall, and as a 2L, you can enter into it. As a 1L, you can enter into it. It doesn't matter what level you are. But in the spring, as a 1L, there are 2 specific competitions, both for mock trial and moot court, that you can enter into just against 1Ls.
And can you get credit for those?
Yes.
If you do well your first semester, you can get a job and you can graduate.
Yes, so with the competition credits, you get 1 credit per competition as long as you give it a good faith effort, and then you can retroactively apply it.
Okay.
Yes. And you can get up to 4 competition credits. So right now, this is kind of where our Blakely Advocacy Center is. There's offices back here, and as you can see, with our mock trial team, ADR team, and moot court teams, we've been successful in a couple of competitions here and there. I am currently on the
A
moot.
practicing attorney, and you have the supervision of a professor. But that's a way. If it's like, hey, I don't want to do this pretend stuff. I don't, want to make believe. I want to do something real. You can get your credits that way. So, but either way, the school wants you to leave ready to be like a lawyer in the real world, not just like taking legal philosophy and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Oh, you can. So our CDO office that leads me to pointing out in the corner we'll pass it on the right. We have our career development office, and they automatically assign y'all a career development officer. And so you'll meet with them at least once. They're there to review your resumes, to cover letters. If you have, I can count it towards experiential if I wanted to. And I get up to, you can have, during the semester it's about 3 credits is the max. I'm doing mine for 2 credits. And so what that looks like, I go into the office for a regular day, 9 to 5, about twice a week. And I get 2 credits for that. Yes.
Does this program require pro bono hours?
This program does not require pro bono hours, but we have a pro bono director, and they are constantly sending out pro bono opportunities. So for example, I, during my 1L year, saw an email come through saying, hey, the Translegal Aid Clinic of Texas is looking for people to help participants with a pro se clinic file their petitions and orders. So students, if you're interested, just send us an email. And I sent them an email, and it was kind of getting close to finals, and it was a nice way for me to get interactions with people and a client and the community in Houston, as well as do something with the little knowledge that I had as a 1L. Yes.
So do you guys get a certificate for completing pro bono hours or no?
You do not, but if you complete a certain number, I think it's $100 a year. I think the State Bar of Texas will give you a certificate as a student. But there are plenty of opportunities. My writing professor is currently the pro bono director, and we had a pro bono fair here earlier this semester, kind of talking about what student opportunities there were potentially for the summer during the school year, really kind of getting us connected with different organizations and their needs.
To add on to the CDO, I know, it's something that I really like about that is that it's not like just people who are like, oh, I'm a school counselor. They're all former attorneys, and they're all pretty well-connected former attorneys, and they have really good relationships with different, big firms or maybe just all the firms in the Houston area. And they have like a mock interview program that I think is super helpful because they know what these firms like to ask or what they're looking for. So you go, okay, you know, I'm interviewing at these 8 places, schedule a few mock interviews, and you can say, I want you to pretend, you know, you're firm A, and they know the type of questions firm A asks. They know what firm A cares about in their candidates, and they can kind of coach you up and be like, hey, I wouldn't answer that question that way. Or, you know, this is something they want people who want to stay in Houston, so make sure you stress that. And I think that's pretty valuable, you know, information, a pretty valuable resource. And I've always appreciated that they're like actually attorneys that have been through this, trying to like tell me what to do, not just random people who are like, oh yeah, like, you know, I'm a counselor, so.
Yeah, they also have on-campus interviews opportunities, so they'll bring in firms during your 1L year. That's not how the majority of our students get jobs. It's about a third of our students get jobs through the on-campus interview program. And then as a 2L, there are also the opportunities to have 2 different on-campus interview sessions. We also bring in public interest organizations from the government as well, and mid-sized and smaller firms to come and have the opportunity to recruit students here too. Yes.
My last question. What all legal clinics do you have here?
What legal clinics? So we have an immigration clinic. We have the entertainment law clinic. We also have, I think it's the family law clinic.
Yeah,
the mediation clinic.
Entrepreneurship and community
yeah.
development, and then there's the civil law clinic.
Yes. And
Criminal
an appeals
defense.
clinic as well.
And criminal defense.
Yes, one of our professors, he helped to kind of start the Texas Innocent Network, and he does teach criminal law. So one of our friends did work for the Texas Innocence Network and kind of helped work on some of those cases there with that professor.
Appeal for an asylum claim for people from Afghanistan. I think, you know, it's pretty crazy that you can be a second-year law student arguing in front of the 5th Circuit, so.
Yeah, very cool stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm coming to you. So I get to write a research topic and work on it the entire year, and really dive into something that may be unsettled. So I think that, Matt, what are you writing about for your comment?
Why we should be able to hold gun stores liable like we hold bars liable when people. Sorry.